Hello. John. Just speaking to the microphone right here. Yeah. Okay. Well, my name is and I'm here today to I guess to tell the story. Yeah. Okay. Well, back in the late '90s, I used to be a delivery truck driver for the company, and I worked out in the West Desert of Utah, and I used to service the machines that were out in the very isolated western communities there, right by the Nevada border. They're literally dozens of miles away from even the county seat, and I had some weird experiences, which I guess this is why I'm here today. But a little closer, Mike. Okay. But I think it was like I said, it was late '90s. One night or afternoon, I was going out there on my regular delivery run. You know, I went through Corinne, as a town on the way out there, and I was heading on the way out to a little place called Park Valley. And Park Valley is just really in the middle of nowhere. It's an unincorporated community, just a kind of south of the Sawtooth National Forest there by the Idaho border. And like I said, I was going out there. There's a couple machines. There were a couple machines at the time there, and there was a couple in the nearby. What's the word? Mail centers, post offices. You know, basically the only post office service the whole area. You know, and I would go out there and regularly change these things out. You know, collect the money, put in new product. You know, check how the machines were doing. If they were broken, make note of it. I did a little bit of maintenance if I could repair it, but basically, I mean, that was it, you know. I did not drive a large truck, you know. I just a little panel truck, basically, because it's only a few machines. But it was always an interesting job, you know. A lot of time spent alone, a lot of driving in the middle of nowhere. But I'm getting off track. Thank you for pretzels, by the way. One night, one afternoon, I was going out there to, like I said, the Park Valley machine, and I was just enjoying the sunset to the west. There are a lot of mountains, but it's also quite flat because, you know, it's basically desert out there, nothing but, you know, desert, sagebrush. I'm coming into town, and it's always kind of weird when you get out to change out these machines, because sometimes you'll get, you know, in the last trip, maybe $2, you know, back then. It was just a couple of bottles, literally, and it's always weird. My mind got filled with the thoughts that, you know, this ubiquitous corporation has a fine, high, state-of-the-art machine, even in the middle of pissant nowhere, you know, and this is always kind of funny to me that you know, Pepsi was out there, but I was changing out the machine, and I opened up the door, and I noticed about half the stock's gone, which is, you know, a busy month. Maybe once or twice in my whole career in this machine, or really any of the machines here, did I see it totally empty. It's about half to 3/4. It's a busy month, you know. And this thing was half empty. I was surprised, and I opened up the cash box, and the cash comes out. And, I mean, I don't count it, but I look at it, and I know there's not enough coins there for how much is gone. So, you know, I'm thinking, well, geez, great. You know, middle of nowhere, someone's stealing out of the machine, which is a pretty easy crime to commit, because no cameras, no one's going to see or care. You could literally carry off the whole damn machine, and no one would know till I came back, and would either replace it, or they wouldn't. You know, there would be no investigation, no point in getting the sheriff on it, but whatever. I cleared it out, put in some new product, you know, checked the old product, made sure the machine was running, it was doing all right, and I got back in the truck, and I started on my way to the next machine, which is a couple of towns over, which I make it sound like it's far ways away, maybe about 5 miles away. It's really not far at all. But I get over there, going over to the next town, check the machine, normal. Check the other machine, normal. They're all normal there, and the rest of my route was normal that day, if I recall correctly. But the machine in Park Valley there, it is on the front of this. It's this somewhat new building, kind of made to look old style. There's not many like town buildings there. The main street's probably about, I don't know, 2 football fields long if you're lucky, and there are fields right behind the buildings there, and the one road that branches north off from Main Street is just gravel. It's nothing but gravel, but it didn't really feel like a ghost town, like a creepy kind of place where you think things like this would happen. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. You like, okay? Let's see then. It was the next month after that I noticed something kind of weird was happening. It was the next month. I came out there again, and I opened up the machine, and all the stock is gone this time. And right off the top of my mind, I'm thinking, there ain't no way there's going to be enough money for this. So I get out the key, open the cash box, pull it open, and it just dumps out quarters this time. Someone paid for it all this time. But when I close it, I check the light, and the light's out. Burnout's happen often, but all it needs is a new bulb to place in. So I pop it open, take out the old bulb, and I get one of the bulbs they give me. And don't worry about that. Okay, take one of the old bulbs they give me, put in the new one, flip it on. Check the light. Light works just fine, and I get on my way. Then I'm putting away the coins. Basically you slide out the box. And back then we used to dump the box in a sack. Basically, I think they have it a little better now. And you open up the door, and then a box comes out, and in that box are the coins. And I'm dumping them out. Some of these coins are just really, dirty and old. And it doesn't matter. I can't lose my job now. I don't work there anymore. But you're not only supposed to look at the money. You know what I mean? But these look so old and stuff. I started looking at them and looking at the dates on them and stuff. You got quarters from the 40s, from the 50s. Really old quarters, very dirty. And I was thinking someone must have dug up an old can of buried money out there, and they went out they went out and spent it all on some soda pop. Over the period of time between the check-ins. And I thought it was kind of funny, but like I say, I get in there. I'm getting distracted again. I get on my way. Check the other machines, the other towns. Normal amount's gone, whatever. Next time I come back, though, I come back and the machine is dead. The power hasn't been running in it for some time. Now, every time I used to stop in Park Valley, I never used to see anyone. And I did get there between, about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, because it was way out there, And I did service some of the smaller towns. I did do a little chunk of them, which actually had a few machines in them. And I never saw anybody when I was getting out to Park Valley. And I get out there this time, and like I say, the machine was dead. And I open up the machine, and only a little bit of stock's gone. But the machine is completely broken. I look at the cord. The cord is fine, it's plugged in. And I pull the machine off the back of the wall there, and it looks like there's been some kind of fire in the workings, And I'm like, just don't worry about that noise. Okay. I trust you guys here, I'm in a government building, but well, sometimes it's just kind of wary to hear those knocking noises. But let's see. I pull the thing back. It's the motor burned out. There was a fire or something, and it was just destroyed. And like I say, barely any of the stock had been touched. And I go to open up the cash box anyway, and I open it, and there's full of quarters. It's heavy as a motherfucker. And I look at this thing. It's just full of quarters, and they're all the dirty old quarters again. And I think it's kind of weird. Nothing's been purchased. Someone must have been pumping the quarters in there, hoping it would jump start it. Maybe they overloaded the engine, I thought at the time, or the motor in that thing, I didn't know. Well, once the coins go in, they're property of the company. They really are, so I take the coins. Then, I write down maintenance. This machine is dead, and we need a new machine out here. Get it out here if you can. And I go to my next stop down there, the next town over, and everything's normal again, normal rates. I don't remember anything interesting about how much was gone, but when I was on my way, this time, because sometimes I take a long turn off, and it kind of takes me a little bit longer to get back to town, and it was getting dark out, and I just didn't feel like taking the long way, so I doubled back, and I went along the road I came. And I come back, and probably about 8 o'clock at night now. It's pretty dark. And I'm driving up through Park Valley again. I look over to my left, and damn it, that machine isn't sitting there, light on, glowing away like it's working. So I stop the car, the truck. I stop it, shut off the engine. I get out, and I walk on over there and take a look at it. Like I say, whenever I'm out here, there's no one around. It is dark. It's quiet. I couldn't hear nothing but the night, like I couldn't hear nothing but the crickets, the nighttime sounds. Then I look at the machine. I open it up, and I'd taken out the old product because it had all gone bad anyway. And what's funny? I kind of considered just leaving it there on the porch, whoever might come by. I don't know how long it's been out. It's real warm, but it wasn't the dead of summer, so I didn't think it boiled or anything or gone bad. I don't know. It's kind of always felt bad when you had to chuck out so many sodas. But I get in there, I open it, and the son of a bitch is completely restocked. Completely restocked. Everything's crystal ice cold. Crystal clear, ice cold, whatever you want to say. I close the door, lock it up, and I pull this thing back off from the wall, the porch, and I look behind it, and there's no burn marks, no anything. And I think this is a little weird, And like I say, it's always kind of got me. I guess the word dichotomy of such a machine, of such a ubiquitous, such a well-known brand in the middle of nowhere, for maybe 4 or 5 people that use this machine, And I was kind of getting that weird vibe about it, thinking, what the hell is up with this? It was at that time I hear a commotion over by my truck, and I hear the panel door on the back of that thing sliding open, and in the back at the time I was driving, we used to secure the money in bags, basically, and they were sort of secured in a little area in the truck. It wasn't really a vault, per se. It did take a key to open it, but I hear something going on, and I immediately am like, oh, great, I'm getting robbed. And I kind of forget about the whole machine and the weirdness, because I'm just getting mad, because I don't want to be getting robbed. And I guess, I'm in the West Desert. Like they say on television, everyone out there in the boonies has a gun. It's probably true, but whatever. I come charging over to my rig, I look in the back, and I say, hey, what the hell are you guys doing back here, and whatever, trying to basically get the jump on them, startle them, which I guess was even the worst idea, but it's what I did. But I look in the back of the truck, and it's empty, but the vault door is wide open, and I get in there. Well, first I kind of look around, and I see nothing. It's dark, but it's not that dark, and it's just dead quiet again. Well, I hop in the back of the truck. I go up, and I look in the bags, and all the coins are gone. Well, most of the coins. I look in the bags, and I don't really see those dusty old coins that I found in the machine. There's still coins in there, but mostly what's gone are the I think all that is gone is the coins I've taken out of this machine. And I kind of, you really just kind of, you do separate them in each bag, but out here in the middle of nowhere, again, I guess I can say it. I mean, totals out here were added up. We didn't do it by the machine, so I pour them together. I'm looking in the bag though. I don't see any of those dusty old weird coins. And, well, I know they're gone, and I know they were there, and I close up the vault, and I get out, and I look around, nothing out there. The machine is kind of humming away. It's kind of funny. I hop out, and I could hear the hum of the machine, and it started dawning on me again. I go, hold on a second. I'm losing my train of thought here. That machine was damn well broken when I was here last, so I closed the door up. I don't know what happened. I'm feeling quite nervous, because, you know, someone's gotten in the truck. The machine is running, and I feel like I'm like, you know, like it's like it's some kind of, you know, spook alley or something right out of the Halloween season. I'm feeling really uneasy. Just something feels wrong, and I'm just noticing that, you know, they opened the door, and I locked it. I know I locked it. You have to lock it in order to get the latch over. But the locks ain't been jimmied, and the doors flew open in just a matter of seconds. And I'm not sure what to do. Now, like I said, this thing was in front of one of the buildings on Main Street. It had been remodeled to look like it was new. But, I mean, I always thought it was pretty new. But when I went up there this time, because I wanted to see if they had a phone or if there was someone there, I don't know. I felt uneasy. I felt off. And I knew the sheriff usually has a nighttime patrol that comes around. There's no telling where he is. Maybe I could get a radio, get this guy out there. I don't know, because I don't know. I could at least meet him somewhere. Maybe I don't know what I was thinking, but I went in there. I go pound on this door, and I know it was like between 8 and 9 at night, but I'm pounding on the door. I'm like, hey, someone let me in. You know, I've been robbed, and just dead silence, you know, and the machine's next to me just humming away, and I just feel really, really weird about this. So I turn around, and nothing happens. 30 seconds, no response. I run on back over to my truck, and I get up in the back of the panel truck, or get the cab of the panel truck again. I turn on the engine. I'm like, whatever. I will deal with this when I get back to Brigham, you know. So I turn on the engine and put it in drive, and I start going down the street. And I'll be damned if I didn't look in my left mirror, and then behind me, and it's getting darker. It's not that dark, but I see a figure like some person in these worn out old dirty blue overalls just standing right in the middle, you know, of the street, of the road. And I can't see his face, but he's just standing there staring at me, and I hit the brake, and I just got mad. I immediately thought, and he looked like some kid, and I thought he'd robbed me, and I was pissed. So I throw open the door. The engine's still running. I guess you could say I was a bit of a hot shot, you know. But I get out, and I'm tearing up towards the kid who's still standing there when I have the door open, and I just start screaming out, "Did you rob me, you little son of a bitch? You know, were you the one that robbed me out here? You know, I should kick your ass. I should whoop your ass. I should find your mom and dad. What the hell you think you're doing, robbing me out here?" And he looks up at me, and this kid has just, his face is dark and covered in shadows, but I see his eyes, and it's just like, this is where it starts to get a little weird. But you, I'm gonna tell you everything. He didn't look like he had any eyes. He just looks up at me. And I'm just taken aback for a second. I mean, I don't back down. I don't run off, but I just kind of lean back, you know, just I lean up off him. I was charging, you know, and then I stop, and he looks up at me, and I just got them goosebumps, you know. It was like the cold breeze was coming across me, but the air was, you know, just still as could be, and I could hear the hum of the machine. I remembered that, but the insects are a little quieter, and it just feels darker all of a sudden. And he looks up at me, and he says in this very deep voice, it just seemed far too deep for me. He said, the machine was broken. I put my money in it, but the machine was broken. And I'm kind of like thinking in my mind, yeah, it was, and I don't really know what to say. I do admit I'm a little embarrassed how taken aback I was. That's why I feel a little silly about making this whole report with you guys, because I think I just was, you know, getting a bit of the heebie-jeebies that night. But you know, anyway, I don't say anything. And he says, I took my money back because I didn't get any soda. and I said, well, that may, I mean, I kind of stuttered, but I finally got a little bit out. I said, well, once the money goes in the machine, it's mine. He says, but you didn't, no, he said, but I didn't get any product or something like that. I don't know, I was kind of sweating at this point. I only remember really well the first thing he said, and then the last thing he said to me, which is coming up. I get ahead of myself. But he says, like, I didn't get any product, I needed my money back. And I started to kind of argue with him, and then he said, but I made a fair trade. I fixed your machine. And then it kind of hits me. I'm like, oh, you fix my machine? You're the machine on my machine, but you fix it? He says, yes, don't let it happen again. He says, don't let it happen again. And I just kind of, I don't know what to think. And like I said, I couldn't see his face too well. He was about tall as the bottom of my neck, and he was about 2 feet, top of his head went to about the bottom of where my neck was. He was about 2 feet away from me. Remember, he had dirty blue overalls on, and it was hard to see his face, and it just looked like he didn't have any eyes, and he had bald, short hair, and his clothes were dirty. And he says, I really like the soda. And then he turns and he starts walking off. I'm like, kid, I don't know, I just kind of jumped. All of a sudden, it just hit me. I reach over and I grab my shoulder and I turn around and I go, kid, you give me the money back, man. I mean, thinking, thank you for fixing the machine, whatever. And I flip him around and he looks at me, and in just one brief moment, I just got this chill, and I slip back, I fall onto my butt. And he just kind of towers over me for a second, and he just gave me this look. And then he says, don't let it happen again. And he doesn't say it in a threatening way, but in a firm tone. And this kid starts walking up the road. Like I said, there's one road that went off the main street, that gravel road. He starts walking, and it's by the time he gets on the gravel that I notice it just doesn't sound like there's any footsteps. And he just walks up the road, and then I'm sitting in the middle of the road, middle of the highway, and then Main Street, and I don't really know how to feel. I just feel a little bit weird and stuff. And I get up, and I get in the cab of the truck, and I head back into town, and it's very quiet. I don't have the radio on. I'm just kind of feeling weird. And of course, I do admit at the time there's something that said that I felt like I might have seen a specter of some kind, but I don't know. But the next time that I went out to that machine, I go out there, and the machine is unplugged, and it is sitting on the road, and I'm like, I get out, I can't believe it. I open it up, all the soda's gone. I open up the cash box, no cash in it, but someone had crammed a note into the dispenser area there, where the cans come out, and I pull it out and open it up, and it's basically it says, dear company, we don't want your machine anymore. Just please take it from us. Signed basically Park Valley Citizens. Is one of those sort of things. I don't remember exactly what it says, because as I was reading it, the door to that building there just flew open. And the guy comes out and he said, thank God you're here. Take that machine from us. I don't care if you think we're crazy or not, but we don't want that machine around here anymore. We've been seeing some weird stuff, the Cotter boy. The Cotter boy has been coming around, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And it's like, that damn machine has been attracting the Cotter boy. I don't know why. Just take it. We just don't want to deal with it anymore. We have nothing against. We just don't want it anymore. And I'm like, well, who's the Cotter boy? And then he kind of stutters, and I go, and I'm like thinking in my head, like, is that the bastard who broke into my truck the last time I was here? Is that him? And he looks at me and he goes, probably, but he goes, Mister, I gotta tell you something, Mister. And like I say, I don't care if you think we're crazy or not, but if. And he just kind of gets a little bit nervous, and he goes, the Cotter boy that we're talking about here, the town, he's dead. and he's been dead for some years now. And he kind of haunts the town. We see him off and on, but I tell you, this machine has been attracting him lately, and he's been getting a little violent, and we just don't want him around anymore, and we just like you to take the machine. And he said it kind of matter-of-factly, and he said, don't think I'm crazy or anything, but he said it quite out loud, without hesitation. I mean, I could tell he was pretty worried, And then, I kind of start connecting dots, and I say, what does he look like? And I describe the person I kind of saw, and the guy, I remember he looks at me, he goes, that's him. And he turns around, he walks back in the building, he closes the door. I couldn't even get any more conversation out of him. Basically, I asked, you want me to repeat that? Okay, I asked him, I described the person I saw on my last trip, and I asked him if that was the Cotter boy, and he said that was him. You want me to repeat that too? And according to this gentleman I spoke to, the Cotter boy was deceased and was haunting the town. Yes. Yes. I put in a request. Pepsi, it took some finagling, but there were no sales, and basically the mayor, it's an unincorporated community at the time, but basically I managed to get them to remove it based on the grounds that the owner of the building, which is sad, no longer wanted it there. Well, I can also describe that too, but I don't know if that's okay. It's okay. Okay. Well, for the record, then, for the record or whatever. But as I was leaving that time, after I spoke with the gentleman. I got in my car and I closed the door and start up, and I start driving off down towards my next stop, and I'm looking in the side windows, and because out in the countryside, roads have like gullies next to them, trenches basically, sort of thing. The country roads go down in a trench, then it goes back up onto the ground. You've been on a back road highway, you know what I'm talking about. And it looked like to me that I saw that kid, the one I'd seen the night before, or the last night I was there rather, standing in the gutter gully there, just looking at me. And I immediately snap back to the road, and I just kind of take off, and I don't look back. And after that, once it was gone, I, of course, never serviced any more machines there. They never got a new machine from. They never wanted one, and just basically until the time I retired, it was just kind of weird driving through that town. I mean, I was jumpy, and I've so many times talked to myself, like, you think you saw a ghost? What kind of craziness is that? But yeah, I don't know what I saw, but I decided I would make this report with you guys in light of what's happened. But I mean, he never seemed that upset. Even when he talked to me, it was quite firm. But I guess that's where the record ends. I don't have anything else to say. I can say that I don't know what happened, but that wasn't. I mean, if you're trying to suggest that what I saw did that, I don't think it was likely. I mean, I know how crazy I sound. We're speaking like I had some damn run-in with something. There really was a specter or something. I don't know what happened out there, man. But I would agree that yes, yeah, I would agree that would I don't know, but the thing I saw sure didn't seem like what you guys described. But I'm glad I was able to help. Yeah, just kind of anything else? You just want me to fill out some paperwork? Okay. Yeah, just